You're done here, Sophia. Elena's voice sliced through the oak-paneled boardroom like a blade, cool and final. Every head swiveled toward me, board members frozen mid-note, executives avoiding eye contact, and my younger sister wearing that triumphant half-smile she'd perfected since childhood. I felt the air leave the room. Fired. From the company our grandfather built with his own hands. My name is Sophia Harrington, 44, and until that moment I had been Chief Operating Officer of Harrington Global Logistics, the empire I'd quietly expanded from a mid-tier Midwest hauler into a coast-to-coast powerhouse. While Elena polished the brand at galas and golf outings, I'd been the one closing eight-figure deals, forging alliances with manufacturers, retailers, and carriers. I was the reason we'd doubled revenue 3 years running. I kept my composure, gathered my tablet, and walked out without a word. The heavy door shut behind me with a soft thud that somehow sounded like the end of an era. In my corner office, my assistant Marcus looked up, alarm flashing across his face. "Soph, what happened?" "Elena just terminated me," I said, closing the door. "Clear out by tomorrow." His jaw dropped. "She can't. She can." And she did. I sank into my chair, pulse racing, but beneath the shock a strange clarity emerged. I opened the locked lower drawer and pulled out a slim black folder I'd kept for years, an insurance policy I hoped I'd never need. Marcus watched as understanding dawned. "You mean SH Strategic Partners?" I allowed myself a small, sharp smile. "Exactly. The entity that actually holds every major client contract." 5 years earlier, when whispers of succession began circling, I'd quietly formed SH Strategic Partners LLC. On paper, it was a consulting arm designed to streamline negotiations and reduce corporate liability. In reality, it was my parachute. With our father's distracted approval and the board's rubber stamp, I'd gradually shifted every key account so that Harrington Global was merely the operational subcontractor. The clients weren't loyal to the family name, they were loyal to me. The next morning, I arrived at 6 a.m. to pack. The building was still dark and silent. As I boxed awards and photos, my phone lit up with calls from 3 of our biggest clients, confused then angry, after receiving Elena's announcement that she was now their primary contact. "Sophia, we sign with you," said Carla Reyes from Apex Manufacturing, voice firm. "Not with your sister's smile." By 9 a.m., Elena was calling, her usual poise cracking. "Where are the master contracts? And why is Apex threatening to walk?" I let her stew for a moment. "Check the signature pages, Elena. Every major account is with SH Strategic Partners. Harrington Global is just the fulfillment vendor. Always has been." Dead silence. Then, "This is betrayal."
No, irrepliega only.
"This is preparation." By noon, half the operations team had texted their resignations, asking if I was hiring. By evening, I'd secured temporary warehouse partnerships in Indianapolis and Cincinnati. By midnight, my living room looked like a war room. Laptops, legal pads, coffee cups, and a growing list of clients confirming they'd follow me. The board convened an emergency session the next day. My attorney attended in my place. When she called afterward, her voice carried quiet satisfaction. "They tried to paint your structure as disloyal." The older directors shut it down fast, reminded Elena they'd all signed off years ago. Then they forced her to extend an offer. Bring SH Strategic in as exclusive logistics partner, 7-figure retainer, long-term guarantees. I almost laughed. They'd fired me, then begged to hire my company. 3 months later, my new firm, now rebranded Apex Edge Logistics, occupied sleek offices downtown. We'd grown to 28 employees, landed 2 massive new clients, and yes, Harrington Global had become our biggest subcontractor after accepting my counterproposal. Elena had fought it until the board gave her an ultimatum: sign or step down. 6 months in, our father asked to meet privately. He looked frail, the stress of near collapse etched into new lines on his face. "I was wrong," he said over steak he barely touched.
"It shows tradition over talent."
"I should have named you CEO from the start." I waited. The board wants you back. Not just your company, but you as chief executive. Elena would shift to chief brand officer, where she actually shines. But only if you two can find peace. I stared at him, emotions tangling.
Peace?
After decades of being overshadowed, dismissed, then publicly humiliated, that night, walking out beneath the glowing Apex Edge sign, I realized the truth. Elena's attempt to erase me had handed me everything I'd earned, but never been given. A company that was undeniably mine.
A team that chose me.
Clients who trusted only me. My phone buzzed, Elena. One line. Lunch tomorrow? Just us. I exhaled slowly. The story wasn't finished. Forgiveness, partnership, or permanent distance. None of it was decided yet. But whatever came next, I finally held the pen. And that felt like the sweetest victory of all.